What's up everyone, Arthur here, back with another 3DS sales video and the last one of 2022. There are lots of games on this one, so I'll blow past the ones that I talked about before faster than usual, and many are either US only or Europe only as usual, unfortunately, so always check the information cards on the side. If you're new to the channel, I am all over the 3DS and the Wii U in preparation for the eShop's closing. I have covered hundreds of games worth getting, concentrating on the lesser known ones, so do check out the eShop closing coverage playlist on screen now. Okay, let's get to the games on this holiday sale. Welcome to the channel, this is From the Void. Okay, now we have a game I talked about before in the very first video I made on the 3DS since the eShop's closing announcement, and it's a pretty cool and obscure hidden gem here, Ninja Battle Heroes. Despite the absolutely generic title, this is a pretty fun action platformer. You have a dedicated button to attack enemies in the background, which is further complemented by the well done 3D effect in this game, and it also adds a nice layer to the gameplay. You constantly unlock new allies which can be summoned with the touchscreen and provide cool abilities. Yeah, this is a pretty solid game, really worth the price it goes for, especially now with a 50% discount going for $1.99 in the US or 99 cents in Europe, quite a bargain. Next is Retro City Rampage DX and Shakedown Hawaii. Both of these titles were recently released in physical form on the PlayStation 3. Yeah, on PlayStation 3. And Shakedown Hawaii on the PlayStation 4 as well, which is quite nice. These are both excellent open world action games, similar to the old school PlayStation 1 GTA games, but even more frantic and fast paced and with some pretty interesting and varied missions. These are loads of fun, so be sure to grab them on the 3DS, they fit really well there, while Shakedown Hawaii is also on the Wii U. They're getting 60% discounts right now, so there has never been a better time to get them. Next, and keeping the retro theme, is 80s Overdrive. This one's pretty simple in nature, but the gameplay is fun and engaging. The graphics are beautiful. 80s Overdrive is basically an arcade-style racer, where in between races you spend the money you earn to enhance your car with new features like a better engine or nitro boosts, or even buy a completely new car. Races are fun and exciting, with lots of things happening around you. Great game here, and even better on the 3DS than elsewhere with the awesome 3D effect and the extra information in the bottom screen. It is absolutely worth the 80% discounted price of 99 cents in Europe or $1.99 in the Americas. Next is the colorful platformer Runbow. This game is both on the Wii U as well as on the new 3DS, where it's called Runbow Pocket. Yeah, this is one of the rare few games that only work on the new 3DS model, not on the regular ones. Runbow is pretty interesting, it has both single player and multiplayer appeal, where in multiplayer you can have up to 9 people competing to see who does the platforming the fastest. And the solo gameplay is also excellent with the level design and challenge feeling really good. This game also counts with some pretty meaningful DLC, which you can check in the link above, where I covered every single DLC on the 3DS and Wii U. Both versions are receiving a hefty 80% discount, going for mere $2.99, which is an excellent price for this game. Next are the Quell games, Quell Memento and Quell Reflect. These are excellent puzzle games, just brilliant. You move the bubble up, down and to the sides while trying to collect all the pearls or turn all yellow or red blocks blue. It is both very simple and brilliant. The game has so many different ideas to throw your way, like light rays, ice cubes, teleport pads and much more. The hidden collectibles are also really well done here. These are true puzzle masterpieces. Try them out if you're a puzzle fan, especially now that they're going half off for $1.99. Moving on to the Parascientific Escape series. These are pretty solid visual novels, I covered them a few times already, and they're exclusive to the 3DS and digital only, and also received great scores. They follow two characters who have a wide variety of psychic powers, such as telekinesis, chronokinesis, and clairvoyance, and those abilities are well implemented in the gameplay to solve puzzles. Pretty excellent games here. If you're into the nonary games, for instance, these are sure shots. You can pick each one of the 3 games for $250, 50% off. Next is Go-Go Kokopolo 3D. I talked about this one so much at this point, so I'll be super brief. You run around maze-like stages, aggro the enemies to follow you, and trap them inside the snap plant. This is a surprisingly fun and unique game with great level design. It's quite worth the $2.99 discounted price. Moving on to Bloo Kid 2. This is a very standard platformer. It's nothing spectacular, but a pretty solid and fun little game. You have your double jump, each level counts with a big number of optional objectives, which add a good amount of value. It's a fun time, Bloo Kid 2. It's getting a 30% discount going for $2.79. Following up with Ambition of the Slimes. This is an absolutely obscure turn-based strategy RPG where instead of controlling the humans, you take charge of the slimes, which true to their reputation are feeble creatures. If you engage in combat, the humans have a sizable upper hand. But these are not your regular old slimes here, not at all. They can turn the humans' advantage completely against them by claiming their bodies, which they do by prying their mouths open and forcing their disgusting selves down their throats, and really transform the whole dynamic of the combats. Great game here, especially now that it's 50% cheaper at $2.50. Next is a real fun hidden gem, Alien on the Run. The premise is as straightforward as the title. You're an alien trying to escape the spaceship, but you do so with the craziest, most nonsensical mechanism. They call it fever action. Basically, the alien leap dashes forward, and once you let go of the button, he will do the fever thing and destroy a tractor beam, somehow, which are these yellow glowing circles that would otherwise pull him upward and give you a game over. Every time he does it, he strikes a pose for a second, which are quite humorous. So the alien must run through each stage, avoiding all manner of hazards, in the hopes of getting his hand on the chili sauce bottles, which he consumes, and then this happens. Unfortunately, each time his jackass alien friends throw him back to the spaceship in orbit, cause they're jerks. And that's it, the game is guaranteed fun, and for the price of $1.49, this is an absolute must-get in my opinion. Unfortunately, the sale is taking place only in Europe right now. Next is Chain Blaster. This is an arcade-style shoot-'em-up, but it introduces a simple thing that sets this game apart and makes it all the more enjoyable. You can use your energy meter to shoot a bomb that has a ripple quality to it. It becomes a bubble once it connects, and it propagates to however many enemies in proximity to one another. This ripple quality feels awesome, I gotta say. The campaign is short and not super hard, but it opens advanced mode, so there is a lot of meat in this game. For the cheap price of $1.49, this is a great arcade shooter to get, especially since the 3DS is quite poor on this genre. This one is only on sale in Europe though. There are also a bunch of KEMCO RPGs on sale on the 3DS and Wii U. We have Alphadia, Dragon Sinker, Crystal Reino, Symphony of Eternity, Machine Knight all on the 3DS, and Revenant Saga and As Divine Hearts on the Wii U. These are average RPGs, most of them, but they do have a following, and some shine more than others. I haven't played any of them, so I can judge it for myself, but they're all going for the same price of $4.99, except for Symphony of Eternity, which is going for $3.99. Now Now, moving on to the Capcom section. Like I said, I have already talked about each one of these before, so I'll blow past them real quick. None of them require too much explanation anyway. Starting with the Resident Evil games. We have Revelations on the Wii U and 3DS. This was an original 3DS game and later received several ports to many other platforms including the Wii U, with extra features like enhanced graphics and a new difficulty mode, but the 3DS one remains of course the only one with 3D functionality. The game was really well received with multiple characters to control as the story jumps between several time periods. Right now it goes for $7.99 with a 60% discount. Now Resident Evil The Mercenaries 3D. Okay, I have to say a couple of things here. It's not a good idea to buy this one physically, I'm afraid, because you cannot delete the save file from the previous owner. Yeah, it's weird. Second thing is that this one for some reason is not often included in the Capcom sales, so this very well may be the last time it happens. In terms of gameplay, this is an extended version of the Mercenaries minigame featured in many mainline Resident Evil titles, with waves of enemies to defeat in the arenas and several characters to choose from. It's a cool game if you like those modes. It is also a bit shallow for a full title, but with a 75% discount, reducing it to $4.99, it's a lot more attractive. Then we also have Resident Evil 4 Wii Edition. This version gets a bad reputation because of the motion controls, but you can opt to use regular controls, while the motion stuff works perfectly well, while still managing to keep the original intent of having kind of obtuse controls that intensify the oppressive feeling that permeates the entire game. This version includes the extra stuff from the PlayStation 2 and PC versions, with the new Ada Wong scenario, so it's a great version to get. Resident Evil 4 Wii Edition is going for mere $4.99, 75% off, a great option for this masterpiece even with the remake coming soon. And the last Resident Evil game is Resident Evil The Umbrella Chronicles. This is an on-rails shooter with several different scenarios and time periods, telling different never-before-seen parts of the story, including a whole new scenario in Russia. In total, you can play with 9 characters from the series. If you're a Resident Evil fan, this has a lot to offer. Great game here, going for $4.99 with a 75% discount. And then we have Zack and Wiki Quest for Barbaro's Treasure. This is an excellent puzzle adventure game that makes great use of the Wii's motion controls. The presentation is excellent with a quirky story and several likable characters. This is a creative and unique game, totally worth the $4.99 price, 75% off on the Wii U. Following up with DuckTales Remastered. This is a must-have in my opinion. Either this remaster or the original NES or even the Game Boy version, or any combination of the three. The platforming gameplay here is genius, and the reworked graphics, soundtrack and voiceover bring it to new life. This is a fantastic game. DuckTales Remastered is going for a measly $374, 75% off, which to me is a bargain considering this game's value. Moving on to the Ace Attorney series. This is a well-known franchise of story-driven visual novels where you act both as an investigator as well as a lawyer to defend clients from their accusations. There are 4 titles on this series currently on sale on the 3DS. The Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney Trilogy is a remaster of the original 3 games, and this is also available on more recent platforms such as the Switch and PlayStation 4 with HD graphics. It's still worth it on the 3DS, going for $11.99 with a 60% discount. Then Apollo Justice Ace Attorney is getting a 75% discount, going for $4.99. And finally, Dual Destinies and Spirit of Justice, which are 3DS originals and also have DLCs available by the way, are receiving 83% discounts, also going for $4.99. Following up with Super Street Fighter 4 3D Edition. In this version they added a bunch of new features that make it totally unique and could justify a purchase for fans of the series. It includes a stunning 3D mode that actually changes the camera perspective, as well as 2 new difficulty modes, touchscreen functionality, and a bunch of costumes already included that were previously DLCs in other versions. This is a really cool game in the 3DS, and all the more attractive now with a 75% discount going for $4.99. Next we have Dungeons & Dragons Chronicles of Mystara. This is an excellent beat-em-up compilation from Capcom with 2 great arcade originals, Dungeons & Dragons Towers of Doom and Shadow over Mystara. Both games are great, with many characters controlling widely different. It's going for only $3.74, less than $2 per title. Moving on to the Monster Hunter series, I refuse to describe these games, especially nowadays with how mainstream the franchise has gotten. There are 3 games on sale. Monster Hunter 4 Ultimate and Monster Hunter Generations are available on the 3DS, while Monster Hunter 3 Ultimate is on both the Wii U as well as on the 3DS. And that's the definitive version of the Wii original with a lot more stuff. It is currently 75% off on the 3DS going for $4.99 or 80% off on the Wii U going for $7.99. Then Monster Hunter 4 Ultimate is the only version of 4 to ever make it to the West, so it's a 3DS exclusive. It is currently 83% off going for $4.99 as well. And finally, Monster Hunter Generations. This has a Switch Ultimate version with several enhancements, so you may want to consider getting it there instead, but if you're set on having it on the 3DS, take advantage of the sale now since it's getting a whopping 87% discount going for $4.99. Next, Harvest Moon 3D, The Tale of Two Towns. This one is for sure one of the better entries on the series in my opinion, and as its subtitle implies, there are 2 towns situated very close to each other, and they are radically different in terms of culture, architecture, and farming options. You choose which one of them to reside from the get-go, which will have a big effect on the gameplay, at least in the beginning. This is a creative take on the series with really good looking graphics, and it's going for cheap now, 80% off, for $3.99. It's on sale only in Europe though. Next we have all the Steamworld games. Steamworld Dig, Dig 2 and Heist. Those are all fantastic games, you can't go wrong with any of them. They're quite famous too, no need for much introduction. Dig 1 is both on the 3DS and Wii U, going for less than $2, while Dig 2 is $3.99 on the 3DS. I guess Heist is the least known among them, where you manually aim the shots, introducing a welcome skill-based feature into a strategy game, and it's going for $2.99 with a 80% discount. Okay, next, we have a bunch of ATLUS and NIS games on sale, but most are only in Europe. I know, huge bummer if you're in the Americas, I'm sorry. First we have 3 Etrian Odyssey games, the excellent dungeon crawler series where you manually draw the maps of the dungeon as you explore it. Etrian Odyssey 4 is currently 60% off, going for $3.99. Then the Untold games are a bit different. They are reimaginings of the first 2 games in the series from the DS, but this time with proper characters and story. Etrian Odyssey Untold 1 is going for $3.99 with a 60% discount, and Untold 2 is also going for $3.99 but with a whopping 90% discount. Next we have a great strategy RPG, Stellaglow. In my opinion, this is one, if not the best strategy RPG on the 3DS, with great story, music from Yasunori Mitsuda, and fantastical tactical gameplay and challenge. That's enough said. It's currently 90% off, reducing the price to mere $3.99. Moving on to Devil Survivor 2 Record Breaker. This is an enhanced remaster of the DS original, and much like its predecessor, it mixes things up a bit by presenting the encounters in a grid-based tactical RPG style, but the combats themselves are regular turn-based. It's an interesting mix of features, I gotta say. It also has a very dark and interesting story. Great game. It's now 90% off, going for $3.99. Quite a bargain. And next is Devil Summoner Soul Hackers. Soul Hackers 2 has come out this year, so it should rise interest in the original, which has a typical SMT gameplay with the dungeon crawling and the demon recruiting. It is a bit dated as a dungeon crawler because this is a Sega Saturn original, but the quality is definitely there. Soul Hackers is getting a 60% discount, going for $3.99. Next is Persona Q Shadow of the Labyrinth. Unfortunately, the sequel is again not getting the discount. The Q games are pretty much the Persona take on the Etrian Odyssey style of dungeon crawling, but much more fleshed out in terms of the story and characters, and this one mixes characters from Persona 4 and 3 together, so it's guaranteed to appeal to fans of the series. It's getting a substantial 80% discount, going for $3.99. Next we have Concept Revolt. This is a really cool, fun and unique game. It basically works like a board game where you compete against NPCs taking turns by rolling the dice and moving to spaces, and it works kind of like Monopoly. When you land in a space, you claim it by placing a creature on it. If another player lands there, they will be demanded payment or they can attack it. This game is insanely addictive, believe me, and since it has a really well balanced progress, playing Concept Revolt feels great. It is currently 90% off, reducing it to mere $3.99. A really impressive discount. And that's it guys, a lot of games worth picking up there for real cheap prices. Hope many of you can take advantage of that, and once again, do check out the eShop closing coverage playlist for hundreds of obscure games on the 3DS and Wii U. If you appreciate the channel's mission of bringing light to games lost in the void, consider joining the channel's Patreon. Any help would be much appreciated, even $1. Thank you so much to all these lovely people whose name you're seeing now, and Happy New Year to all of you. I'll see you in 2023.